Hello and welcome to Khyber Shards, a 5th edition actual play set in the Eberron campaign world.
Hello.
Today's episode brought to you by Lazar Iced Tea. It's just rum. Colin, what happened last time?
We talked with Thora. We set up ground rules, objectives, goals, kind of established what it is that we're going to be trying to go for here as we begin the expansion and creation of our school and our purpose in Stormreach as a whole. And then Ezri was told he's going to get a greenhouse, and also don't lie to Thora because she knows. Yeah, I already got his sleeping pills.
It's true.
That won't.
And nothing's happening out in the jungle.
Yes.
Okay.
That's also
Pog didn't do that.
What's happening in the jungle?
I don't know anything about the jungle. I don't know.
Phil
what to
didn't
tell you.
ask Pog. Philip asked Colin for a
Okay.
recap.
Well, yeah. Sorry. I role play. I don't know. No. It's
Burn.
all bad with Stormhammers arriving at their objective and opening a sarcophagus, and that's all players know. It stops.
Mm-hmm.
They're waiting.
Why is it always
and that's
mummies with you,
terrifying.
Phil?
Yeah, they're all cursed now, based on logic.
Whatever it is all bad.
Mm-hmm. Totally. So, meanwhile,
Oh boy.
Again.
Oh boy.
Meanwhile,
Oh boy.
in the Obsidian City, the Stormhammers wait. You are in the steaming depths of the Zindric jungle, following a strange compass, a small disc that points the way to a city. Your leader is a wayfinder par excellence, the extraordinary Hallis Martain. The darkness of the jungle is overwhelming. The denseness of it is daunting. But you lived through the war. You watched your country turn its back on your order. And you know that the world can be made better in the assurance and strength of the blood of Vol. Because you are Knights of the Emerald Claw. And as you cut your way through the jungle, you find your way to a place where the jungle seems to simply end, and a volcanic lava field stretches before you. Eric, roll 4d4 and tell me how many 4s you get.
Uno.
Okay. Tell me how Hallis Martain and the Emerald Claw navigate this at a cost.
So Hallis, being experienced wayfinder, this isn't his first rodeo of experiencing a lava field, and so being able to spot the cooler sections of stone begins leading a path through. But one of the Emerald Claw just tries to take a corner too tightly and ends up accidentally dropping a not insignificant amount of supplies into a too hot spot, and it just burns up. So,
All right. Got to
Getting
turn on
it.
the jungle music. All right. So, the party is the party is reduced in its supply, but manages to cross the lava field, proceeds through the jungle into the depths of the night, farther and farther south, you think, into the jungle, into the ever-shifting land around you. And one night, as the party moves towards the sun is setting, moving towards camp, there come the sound of many voices in the trees, and a group of Sulatar Drow surround the Emerald Claw troop, armed and armored in elaborate fire red metals and lacquered leather, armed with blades of alchemically hardened obsidian. The Sulatar close in. Colin, roll 4d4 and tell me how many 4s you get.
1.
Okay. Tell me how the Emerald Claw survived their encounter with the Sulatar at cost to themselves.
This is at night. They're camped.
Mm-hmm.
It is a battle.
I suppose I should clarify for you real quick. The Emerald Claw are an order of knights, so they're mostly martial. However, they do have number necromancers among them. The Knight of Skulls that you fought in the Red Ring was a Knight of the Emerald Claw, and identified himself as such.
And would these drow have any experience with necromancy?
Probably not these drow.
Then, after the attack originally gets underway, they're able to recover, kind of build up a shield wall, but having already lost 2 men, the one in the center of their shield wall casts a spell and revives the 2 that have fallen. While they only do minimal damage, it's enough to frighten the drow who are unfamiliar with this necromancy, and they are able to survive, having lost just the 2 men.
Okay. Finally, Hollis Martain reaches the cliff's edge, looking down on the vast, shining obsidian city, and begins to guide the Emerald Claw down a path into the city, coming in through a different angle from that which we saw as the Stormhammers came through. And in making their way through the city, the Emerald Claw find themselves surrounded by eerie humanoid figures of varying sizes, extraordinarily lifelike in their shape, and yet carved, or at least made, of pure obsidian. RA, roll 4d4 for me, and tell me how many 4s you get.
1.
What is the nature of this hazard, and how does it cost the Emerald Claw?
These are the figures of obsidian?
Yeah, figures are made of obsidian. They are extremely lifelike humanoid figures in obsidian.
As they pass through the field of figures, where there should be eyes behind the stone face of the figures begins to glow, and each one begins to blast waves of heat at the party. They have to run and shield themselves and try to get past it without being disintegrated, which at least one of them is.
Okay. The Wayfinder leads the somewhat reduced Emerald Claw to the central citadel, following the beacon of this strange compass retrieved from the depths beneath Zendrick, and stolen for him from the Stormhammers. As they find the doors open, the pit trap disabled, and slip through and begin trying to make their way through the city. Casey, roll 4d4 for me and tell me how many 4s you get.
None.
Tell me about the ambush that the Stormhammers have laid for the Emerald Claw.
Well, it was pretty easy. You have to go the single way to get past the pit of spikes and snakes.
Mm-hmm.
And so they set up a couple of Stormhammers to keep watch. I'm very bad at this. There are large crevices in the walls that they're able to hide behind and flank the Emerald Claws as they pass by and attack them.
The Emerald Claw force is decimated, and the survivors hauled into the chamber where Mirren waits before the open sarcophagus. Hallis is dragged in, and Mirren cocks her head and walks closer to him, and reaches down and grabs the collar of his tunic and jerks, tearing and revealing a purplish, spiraling, aberrant mark across Hallis's chest. And Mirren looks and says, "Well, aren't you lucky? Just needed one more." And she turns to Tommel, and we're gonna say, just because we have accidentally created too many people whose name sounds exactly like this, the other Stormhammer that you all knew, whose nickname is Cal, their full name is Callan, and we're gonna call them that so that we don't have the Cal thing that's been going on. Cal. Turns to Tommel and Callan and says, "It's time. Take your places." Hallis is dragged to one of the tables in the room, bound and thrown on it. Tommel and Callan walk to two of the other tables and lay down, and Mirren walks to the fourth and settles herself on it. And then looking back at the other Stormhammers and the bound Emerald Claw, she says, "Do it." So back in Stormreach.
Bye, Colin. Colin, why'd you take your headphones off? He told us what happened.
Let me see if I can't make you feel better about this, Colin. Aren't you glad you didn't follow them into the jungle?
I'm far less happy that we didn't just try to kill them, though. Also, can I just say how much I appreciate you naming that character me if I was from New Jersey?
Callan.
Much appreciated.
Welcome. Well, it can't, like, there's an actual name, Callum, but then the cat's full name is Columbra, so that wasn't going to help. So, I didn't want to just go with, like, Caleb. Anyway. All right. So, it's been...
My name's Kamal, and this is my friend Frank.
So, you have been working on getting the house set up to your desires. You've been settling into what rooms everyone wants. And Thora comes upstairs and finds Ari and Tommel in the midst of a debate.
Really?
I'm sorry, Ari and... gosh.
Got
Ari and Pog.
metaphysical real quick.
Ari and Pog in the midst of debate.
Teleportation is
The
real.
it's gonna be an awesome 3 seconds on the watch party. Ari and Pog.
Boy, did you have Laura's attention for a second there. But I said dibs, though.
After I said dibs.
No.
Like that's what prompted you as I walked in here and said, if this is the nicest room, then Thor's going to have it. If it's not, then dibs.
But I said dibs on the other room, and then Thora took that other room. So
you
I
lost dibs on that room.
no, I just moved my dibs down one.
Whatever. Okay, cool. I'll take the other room that hasn't been occupied.
Wait, does that mean you're across from me?
Hey, I didn't want it either, buddy. But talk to Pog. He doesn't know what dibs are.
Yes, he's across the hall from you. That's the other room.
If it would help.
Are you even gonna use the bathroom, Pog?
Yes, Thora.
Excuse me?
If it would help, I'm sure that one of these small rooms that were guest rooms, several of them have bunk beds. I'm quite certain that I could fit 2 sets of bunk beds into a single room for you all to share, if that would solve the dispute here.
Only 2 of them are having a dispute.
I'm not having a dispute. He just said I could have the room.
Well, you're all a team or you're not, so...
I have relented. It's whatever. I'll take the other room.
I have linted. I don't know. I don't know.
Right. I have something that's even remotely important
Okay.
for you. Come on.
Sleeping arrangement.
What was that?
None. I'm good.
And she heads back down the stairs.
She's going to be a great headmistress.
I'm talking to my mom all of a sudden. Jesus.
Ex-secret agent headmistress. How is that not a film?
Yeah.
Yet.
How is that not a family film
Copyright the
starring
Geek
Scarlett
Pantheon.
Johansson?
Right.
And Melissa McCarthy as well. She's going to be in there
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't know where Mary Poppins got her skills.
Yo, real talk.
Headcanon accepted. Okay. Thor leads you back downstairs and to one of the lower floor rooms that's been set up as an office. It is, in fact, the room with the secret door, because Thora doesn't want children wandering into a room that has a secret door down to,
Death.
that room with the controls and a
Death
bottomless pit.
Wise choice.
So
Both of those
that-
are hazards.
she's put the principal's office there.
We need a license with the state if they catch us with that.
Right. Yeah. There's no way we're zoned for a bottomless pit here. And in there is another person.
Hello there.
R.A., tell me the species of this person.
Are we open to the entire D&D?
Yeah, Zinder's got all sorts of weird things.
Don't think they
Oh,
prefer to be
I
called
mean,
weird things.
that's
but
that's literally what Keith Baker says, is if you got a player who wants to play a species that doesn't have a normal place in Eberron, they're from Zindric.
Let's have a tiefling.
Okay. Eric, is this tiefling apparently male or female?
female.
Okay. Colin, describe the skin tone of this tiefling, since tieflings have a very wide array.
Literally the rainbow.
Yeah.
I want to go with red.
Classic.
She's red skin. Is that classic? I don't know. You said all
Yeah.
the colors of
Yeah,
the rainbow.
That's classic.
Red skin is intense as a new guy, so
Mhm.
I would pay great attention to someone with like fire red skin.
All right. And Casey, describe how this person is dressed.
She's in this just gorgeous dress robe. It's velvet with beautiful golden embroidery. It's a much deeper shade of red than she is, but with bold, just geometric patterns across it. She looks strangely informal in it, like this is her everyday wear, but it's just stunningly immaculate.
In my notes, I'm going to write dressed fancy. Is that good?
Nailed it.
But I came up with the description.
Yes,
so,
and it was
you
great.
know.
Yes, well done.
And yes,
It-
dressed fancy.
It will be documented as fancy.
Her fancy.
Thora says, this is someone I've brought in to do some consulting for us and to help us in some of our endeavors. This is Natalia, and the tiefling looks, and you can call me Nat if you like.
Nice to meet you, Nat. I'm Ari.
Ari,
Hi, Nat. I'm Pog.
Hog.
I guess that's where the introductions are going to end.
And that's Esri, and that's Shade, says Thora.
We do this now, Esri.
I can't do anything about it now.
We do this now.
You've
Or,
always done it.
Yeah, but now you have to not be mad about it because we do this now.
I'm not mad about you doing it.
So you're not mad about us introducing you? Noted.
Thora sits down behind her desk.
I send some bugs to Ari.
We're a work in progress, she says, looking over at Natalia.
Mm-hmm.
Natalia here is an old contact of mine. She has a good ear for what's going on in the city. So I've engaged her services to keep us informed of what other groups within the city are up to. She's she'll be working with us, keeping us up to date, as it were.
Great.
Not exactly inconspicuous, is she?
That's rude.
Natalia smiles and says, "Do you know, people talk very freely around people who can look like they belong somewhere. And when I come to a meeting with folk that I'm in business with, I dress for business."
I didn't realize. I just woke up.
Yes.
I have the one out.
Yeah, we don't have so many clothes. Yeah, well.
You look nice, though.
Not fishing, but thank you. Yes, I appreciate it. It's nice to be noted. I'm told that you're looking for a way to make an introduction. And I think I have a good notion on how you can make a good introduction.
Okay.
Smuggling's just a reality here. It's a city founded by pirates, and one of the Stormlord's family are notorious for smuggling. But there's a way you do it. And that way involves the Stormlords and the right people getting a cut. It's officially illegal, but as long as you're giving the cut to the right people, then it doesn't really matter that it's officially illegal. I happen to know of a shipment that's coming into the city up the river from the interior. And I happen to know that a cut has been given to the wrong people. Some low-ranking officers in the guard have taken a bribe to allow the shipment in without anyone higher up the chain needing to hear about it or get their cut. So, no Stormlords have been paid, no faction leaders, just a couple of low-level officers in the watch. So that is to say, the only people who will be irritated are the smugglers and possibly some members of the watch. Although they've already been paid, so they might not care in any case. I don't know what's on the shipment precisely, but I know that it has some of the people who are awaiting it nervous.
Who's waiting for it?
It's bound for the Black Freighter in Grindstone. So, presumably, the Emerald Claw.
And did you say when it's expected to arrive in the city?
It should come in tomorrow early in the morning.
Okay. So are we just to stop the smuggling?
Right, that is my thought, is to begin with something simple and see that you intercept this shipment before it makes its way to Grindstone. And that seems... if you can do it in a way that's not going to overtly endanger the public.
But be seen.
Right. Or at least the aftermath is evident. The apprehended smugglers delivered to the correct authorities would be viable. And probably, if you can, try not to kill anyone.
I like that.
Bodies on the ground is not exactly the introduction that we would make. I'm not saying don't defend yourselves. Obviously defend yourselves, but if you can avoid leaving behind any corpses.
And the solution to that is not to take the corpse with you.
It would be harder to make that as a good introduction if it's just that the smugglers just vanish.
I'm with you. I just
Right.
some things need to be stated sometimes. So,
No, I needed that explanation.
I mean, if we happen to kill somebody, we should probably take the corpse away, right?
I can burn it, then we
Yes,
won't have to carry it.
I would say if you're forced to kill someone, don't leave bodies lying around to terrify civilians.
And it's okay to kill them if they try to kill us first.
If
Right?
you have to kill them, you can kill them. If you can deal with that problem without killing them, that would be ideal.
like we did cleaning the house. We didn't have to kill anybody. We did things. We knocked that guy out, and then you all tied him up.
We killed the ghosty creature.
Well, yeah, that's
Right, yeah. If you're attacked by something that can be reasonably described as an unthinking monster of some variety, then by all means, destroying monsters would be great. Frankly,
I kind of hope there's a monster. Yeah.
Right.
So, logistics going out in the field. Something I guess we've kind of danced around before starting this whole thing with you, Thora, but would there be any... Obviously, starting out, we are in a certain amount of danger from the houses being known entities operating out there. Would it benefit at all for us to, in kind of an iconic way, mask our identities in any way? Like the White Raven. Like, nobody knows who the White Raven is, but you know it's the White Raven, if that makes sense. Would there be any benefit in that, or do you think seeing our faces and having the human, well, the personhood touch to it be beneficial?
I don't think masking the fact that you're people is a good idea.
Okay. Yeah, I guess
But-
in the mark. Yeah, and I think you're about to go where my follow-up question is with the marks.
So I don't think masking your personhood is a good idea, but if you're concerned about your identities being known, I have no problem with you wearing masks. But it needs to be known that we're the ones who did this, even if we're not identifying individuals.
Yeah.
So I'll leave that matter up to you.
Should we have like a sign and then put it on our cloaks?
We have a flag.
Where's Puzzle Dust been?
Yeah, people are going to be mad there wasn't any puzzle dust in the last episode.
Fix that now.
he's-
Hello.
He's definitely around.
You rang?
I think I've reached an accord that he more or less doesn't come into my office when I have meetings.
Fair.
Sorry.
Although he can go into...
Right. Anyway.
Jay's question.
Well, it's interesting. I've been working on something, and I'm not sure that this would go particularly well on an outfit, but I think it will work well for what we're trying to be. And she sifts through some papers and turns around, and you see there are a bunch of different sketches of various attempts at a coat of arms. All of them feature the coiled form of the sleeping dragon that is in the lobby and on the doors.
Excellent.
And have in various writings House Tarkanan. And I was thinking, and some of the formality creeps out of her here. I was thinking, you see, when I founded this before, I wasn't in the meeting where they picked Crest, and they are still using it, the children of Khyber. They went with a beholder.
Why?
Gross.
I mean, still, well, that's good.
You know, as I say, I was foolishly absent from that meeting. Yeah, it's a very aggressive statement about who you are, in a sense. This, I think, is a slightly more subtle statement.
Mm-hmm.
The dragon, perfectly willing to stay at rest.
Now,
But-
is there... Oh,
Maybe don't poke it, you know?
yeah, that makes sense. I like it.
But as I say, that might not strike fear into your enemies if put on an outfit. I wasn't thinking of it on an outfit, I was thinking of it on a letterhead.
Is there any concern, because before we reconnected, the last time I saw the words House Tarkanan was reporting a terrorist attack in Sharn.
Right.
Is there any concern there? If not, that's fine, but that's just...
I want them to recognize who we are. I want to retake that name.
Okay.
I think it's a bad idea for the school.
Yeah.
I'm thinking Grimalkin Academy for the school. But for the overall organization that we're creating, I'm looking at House Tarkanan. Storm coming in, apparently.
They have quite the reach.
Is that what I'm hearing? Am I hearing rain on someone's window? That's what. Let's see what I've been hearing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, that startled me out of character. So the as far as the outfits, I'm content to allow you to go in a direction of your choosing with that. But
I don't know if we can get something together before tomorrow.
You said that they should know who does it so that we can have people like us. I just don't know how we tell people. We could have your welcome card with the House Tarkanan letterhead on it.
I'll be honest with you, Shade, something about me finds that idea deeply charming.
Because then they would know.
Yeah.
You're not wrong. It's not a bad idea. Just a little note on the end, courtesy of House Tarkanan. That's
Good idea, Shade.
that's not. I mean, I'm honest. I'll be real honest. That would never have occurred to me, but it's not a bad idea.
Good job, Jade.
Thank-
Nat, do you have any other info for us about the smuggling gig?
My understanding. That's Thor's voice. My understanding is that the smugglers are just petty thieves. They may not themselves know. As far as I know, they are being paid to carry this. I don't know if they know everything about what's on it, but they'll almost certainly resist if you try to board the ship. I would recommend intercepting it before it reaches Grindstone, because if it reaches Grindstone, you'll probably have the claw to deal with.
All right. Well,
Let's go stop the smuggles.
nailed it.
All right. So, here's how some of this is going to work. You've been training a little bit with Thora, so a couple of things that I will be introduced here. One, you are now a part of an organization, House Tarkanan, and that organization, as you guys picked off screen, has now an expert working for it in Natalia, who is an intelligence expert. She's someone that you as players can assign tasks to for finding out stuff going on in the city. Once per session, I will also let you just cash her in, sort of, to ask me a question about something that's going on in the city, and within certain reasonable narrative limits, I'll tell you. She's extremely well informed. The other thing is, because you've been resuming your small unit combat training with Thora, I'm going to introduce something and hope I won't regret it.
I think you know the
We'll
answer.
try our best.
Challenge accepted.
You all, when you are fighting together, you have the ability to now push as a reaction and take a joint action with someone.
Okay.
You may make combo moves, is what I'm saying.
Rad.
So it's not your turn. You can use the push mechanic, take the damage, spend your reaction for the round, and declare some ability of yours that you are combining with whatever action is being taken by the currently active player.
Okay. And I'm assuming if it's like the effect of a spell, we would use that spell slot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you are invited to be creative here. And it will...
That's really cool.
The goal
Yeah.
here is that it should enhance whatever the action is of the active player. So it's not just... And I also stabbed them.
Yeah.
So this is so that's available to use
Creatively.
in this
I
mission.
stab them creatively. I push the dagger in harder.
Yeah. All right. So Thora leaves you to make what preparations you want. So what would you like to do or discuss or plan in preparation to this? There's no need to overplan it. You can just, say we're going.
Philip begs.
Yeah. Well, it's coming in from the docks, and we want to stop it in cross, right? So we need to let it get off the boat. And
Well, it's not coming in from the docks. It's coming
coming from the
in
river.
from the river. So it's coming in off the opposite side. It's coming in from the
Okay.
jungle. And coming in down the Kanaru river. And it'll go along the western side of the city, which, if you're looking at our map of the city, the top side of the city, down towards Grindstone, which is in Southwatch near the tents of Rushimi. So there's a good length of the river that runs through the city that you can intercept it with, and you don't have to pick like a spot on the map, unless you have a particular reason to. But
How wide, like where we're seeing the river up here in the top of the city near the Temple District and Old Gate?
Mhm.
How wide is the river at those points? Would you say?
The main flow before it branches is quite wide. Is probably 100 feet or more. But as it goes through the city, it varies. Probably at its narrowest point, the river is not more than 15-20 feet across.
Okay.
It widens out to places to where it might be 40 or 50, but there are plenty of places where it is very narrow.
right there by Summerfield, it looks like there's a bridge at a really narrow point.
Mm-hmm.
Might be
Summerfield is past Grindstone though, so it would have already reached its destination.
Grindstone. I'm looking at Greystone. Okay, got it.
Oh yeah,
Up by
Yeah,
Old
that's-
Gate. Okay, my fault. That's why I thought it was crossing where it was. Okay.
The Black Freighter, which you know to be its destination, is item number 29 on the map, if that's
Okay.
helpful.
Well, there's also a really
so
narrow
are any of
bridge
you
right above it.
Are any of you particularly good at boating?
I had to ride on boats. We would encounter rivers and things like that, and need to be able to navigate them. But I was never the captain.
I know what they are.
I was on it the one time and I hated it.
I did not have a good time on that trip either, for different reasons than Shane. But
Not sure if we should be plotting to stop the boat before it gets where it's going.
I had a thought on that we could try. I hear you, but we could, given that it's not terribly wide, we could. We used to do this when we wanted to stop our boats in a river, but didn't want to deal with an anchor because anchors can take time to pull up, and sometimes you need to get gone. We could take chain and run it just under the surface of the water, just anchor it on either side so that they won't see it, but they'll get stuck on it, and then in the confusion we could pounce as they try to investigate why they all of a sudden stopped. And if we anchor it well enough, they won't be able to do anything until they unanchor the chain. So that was my thought initially on how to stop the boat in a way that wouldn't require any of us to actively do anything until the boat was stopped.
I like it.
That sounds good.
Do you think Salarka's available? I'm going to need chain and hammers, and someone very large would be useful.
And she's gonna break up with Pog if we do another cave without her, so
Yeah,
I
it
can
can't
sure
be a
find
perfect
out.
plan.
I can sure find out too. She's family.
We're friends too.
So we do that. Okay. Let's go find
but
out.
After the boat stopped, do we just ambush them? Try to knock them all out? What?
Yeah, we could jump off the bridge and then from the sides
So
and take over the boat.
So if there are a lot of them, then yeah, I think taking over the boat is the plan. Or sorry, not if there's a lot of them. If there's a lot of stuff on the boat, like if they're smuggling a large shipment of stuff, then take over the boat because obviously. But if it's something that they're smuggling in, not a cache of stuff, then it might be better to grab and go. But we want to make a statement.
We have to let everybody know it was us doing good things.
Yeah, that's fair.
We're supposed to have them arrested somehow.
Yeah, we have to get some of them.
Yeah. Okay, that's a good point. All right.
So we do it big.
Do it big. Boom, boom, boom. All right.
I'll remind you all that we have 5 little potions of healing.
Nice.
And 1 reaches around vial of quite valuable poison. It's got Tommel's name on it, but it's not necessarily fatal. So if we
Did you
need it-
label that so we don't get it confused with the healing potion?
it's nothing. They're not even.
Tommel's name is on it.
It's not.
It's
actually
labeled.
Oh,
I
this is
won't get
Tommel's
them
healing
confused,
potion.
I promise.
I won't drink that. Okay. No, I think we go get Jane from Salarka and see if she can assist us in anchoring it, and then
Ari
We
strongly respects labeled food in the fridge.
yes,
Best office mate ever.
grew up in a communal community where you have to respect things like dibs, Pog.
That's what I'm saying.
So we're off
Tips
to.
the little frozen treats carts off the market.
So we're off to Black Iron.
Yeah.
Seems so.
Cool. All right. So setting off.
On the way, real quick.
Yeah, by all means.
Just want to say, am I reading the room wrong, or are all of you a little more gung-ho about all this than expected?
well, a group of the most powerful people in the city got together and then tried to sell us to someone. So I am very gung-ho about making powerful friends, gaining power. Power. Yeah, I that's what Kira said was the answer. I am pretty on board to things that stop people from discussing my fate, regardless of me being there.
I just feel like I need to remind everyone that we are now being sent on errands
Missions.
by someone who has a direct connection with the Stormlords.
Yeah.
I'm gung-ho about it because if we can be the good guys, then people will stop thinking of us like the bad guys.
Yeah, I'm gung-ho because this has kind of been what I've wanted to do for, like, establish ourselves as a force for good in the city to destigmatize who we are as people. As, I mean, yeah, I'm good.
Those sound like really nice reasons.
What's your trip?
We need to be conscious of all this.
Don't get knocked out.
Hey, listen, rude.
Sorry, I'm sorry.
I'm not saying we don't do it. I'm here. I'm doing it. But we need to pay attention to what they have us doing. We need to know what's on this boat and who's going to end up with it. If we're successful, we're going to ruin some lives tonight.
Yeah.
And if that's not for a reason that would hurt the community, then we really need to know why.
So you're saying we need to look at the smuggles before we give it up? Because I thought we would already do that.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
I just want to make sure we're not blind at any point.
question, Philip. Would we know that, like, Emerald Claw is, like, a radical militarized organization? Like...
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, Emerald Claw are the ones who want this, so probably not much good for the community could come from it. But, I mean, I feel compelled to remind everyone, like, we are being sent to do this job by somebody who can remove the support that she is affording us anytime she wants. So, I don't feel like it's up to us if we decide, oh, it's not that bad, we won't mess with them. Like, that's not our call at this point. Like, I know that Thora said she works with us, but it's her boat.
But doing her bidding is our call.
And we lose. We then end up back in a room with the Stormlords with our fate being decided. Not immediately, but our circumstances go back to a bad situation. Yeah. So yeah, we could walk away at any time, but we're walking away from a support system and the chance to start something that's good. Now, yeah, if she would have said, go out and kill all of the people, then I would have given some pushback. I don't know if you all would
She's
have,
far too clever for that. She's too clever for us.
That's fine. That's her. She's a spy. She's supposed to be clever. We're soldiers. We're supposed to follow orders. Like, I'm not saying blind, but we stop this smuggling gig. We get them arrested. And then we move forward. That's the gig. In exchange for, right now, room and board.
And
Yeah,
train.
Cal. And training. So that's my thoughts on it. So But if anybody wants to walk away at any time, that's, yeah, obviously your prerogative.
Just to clarify one thing that came up in there, the Emerald Claw are specifically the people who perpetrated the attack on the Red Ring.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's what you would know them from.
They are bad people. So let's go mess up their gig.
Am I wrong, Ari? It sounds like you're saying you're not going to stop anyone from walking away, but it's not us walking away.
It would be a conversation, but Thora offers literally the only life that I've wanted since I've gotten in this city. Now, yeah, if she commits atrocities, then I'll walk away with everyone, but this is what like I said, this is what I've wanted to do since we got here. This is developing a community for our people to come together and rise above the hate that's thrown our way. There's a lot of things I'm willing to make personal sacrifices to see that through.
Walk the rest of the way in silence.
Okay. You cross the marketplace and arrive at Black Iron a little bit later. It is afternoon. Just declare it afternoon. Hular and the rest of the family are all there working.
Ari greets Hular and Giant.
Hular smiles, walks over, gives you a good solid pat on the front of your chest, where it's still probably a little tender.
Big meaty hand, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
How's business?
It's good. Can't complain. Is well, good workmanship always finds demand.
Good. Would you happen to have?
Hello, Mr. Hular.
Would you happen to have roughly about 30 feet of chain that we could buy off you?
Yes, of course.
Great.
It's not normally what we do, or what we sell, but yes, we have chain.
Figure if I'm going to buy chain, might as well come to you.
No, I appreciate that.
Market price is 15 gold.
What? Oh, you're right. Yeah. You found it before I did. What does chain
I
cost?
looked up how much chain cost before I proposed the chain plan to
Ah,
make sure that we wouldn't run into a bind.
This is learning from the loot situation.
Yes. Like, oh, I have this idea. How much? Okay,
Yeah.
I can afford that.
Yeah, it is 15. Yes, that is accurate. Well done. Good for you. Hular walks over, and sorry, that came off as sarcastic. I
It very much
I
did.
didn't mean it that way. I was
Good for you.
I was calculating things in my head.
Yeah.
Hular walks over to a big spool of chain and begins calculating out the footage of it on his arm. And when he gets to the end, it's normal sized chain in his big old Goliath hands, so it looks fairly spindly in his grasp. And he just sort of lifts it up so that the chain catches on a little spike, and then reaches to grab the upper end of what essentially looks like a pair of jaws, and he just slams it down and shears off a link, tosses the half link away, and walks over and hands you a coil of 30 foot of chain.
Hog, would you be so kind?
Yeah.
I literally am not capable of. Yeah, thank you. I don't even know how much. 30 pounds.
30 pounds. Yeah.
Okay.
30
Ari
pounds.
could lift.
I can lift 30 pounds. Yeah.
Yeah, come.
Is that all you need?
Is Solarka working today? It's me asking
Yes.
Solarka.
Hog kicks the
We
ground.
need some spikes too.
I'm sorry. What did you say, Ari?
We need some spikes too.
Yes. He walks over. You can see that Solarka is here. She's over a little ways down the shop. She walks. Ari, Hog, Shade, Esri, how are you? Cal. She leans down and pets Cal.
Hog.
This is weird with everybody here. We have to go do something kind of fun, maybe exciting, and didn't know if you want to come.
Should I come armed?
No,
Yeah.
I am getting mixed messages.
You do want to bring a hammer
yeah,
and then anything else.
hammer
you
would
want,
be good. Big hammer.
but also armed.
Yeah.
It's early tomorrow morning.
Yes.
Right. All right. I'll meet you here very early tomorrow morning. Over by the fountain. Where Pot Colos.
I remember that. Beat up Colos.
You have got to stop saying that. You really do.
Olos Crusher. Olos Crusher.
Hular comes back with a...
Ari lifts up the picture he's wearing, and he has
Hular was still right there. I'm
Hular's
sorry.
Colos Crusher.
Hular
I went
comes
to get the
back with
spikes.
some spikes and passes them over and stands there. Was there
Thanks,
anything
Hular.
else?
I think we're good. I think we're good. Good to see you, Solarka. And yeah, thank you, Hular. Appreciate it.
Mr. Hular?
Solarka steps over and takes a hold of Pog's hand and leans over and kisses him on the cheek. And then just sort of stands up very tall, probably about... we've never really established it, but Solarka's probably a head taller than Pog.
Yeah.
Because she's over 7 feet.
Yeah.
And just sort of stands up and broadens her shoulders a little bit. And there's this very intense staring back and forth between Solarka and Hular for what feels like a very long few seconds.
Well, we're gonna go.
After the kiss on the cheek, Pog looks up at her and he kind of stands up a little straighter too, and then looks over and notices that she's in a stare down with her dad. Keeps her hand, but kind of drops again real quick. This is a lot.
Hular just says, Pog, and turns and walks back into the blacksmith shop.
Bye, Mr. Hular, sir.
Solarka smiles. See you tomorrow morning.
I
Okay.
really like saying your name.
Well, it's a pretty cool name.
Yeah. All right.
Break
Leaving.
till the morning.
I really don't think we should involve her in any fighting.
She will be so mad if we fight more without her.
I don't think we should involve her, but if it happens, even if we don't want it to, she should be ready. if we're taking her, she should be ready to be safe. Because
She could be ready
otherwise,
to
all
run.
she's going to have is a chain that's holding a boat. So she can't use that to defend herself. If she's going to go, she should go ready.
Agree.
You do not tell someone to not bring weapons to a fight.
Or an adventure.
Yeah.
Or a birthday party.
I don't think you're going to be invited to my birthday party. That's the rule.
Any other business or preparations tonight, or cut to the morning? Can't tell what that means, Eric.
It's conflict.
It's a good question, Philip.
Yeah, excellent question. So okay, yeah. Ari would, the night before the job, find a moment to get everybody in the little communal area on the second floor that of all of our bedrooms. Just going and being like, hey, I need to talk to you about something.
Just to clarify, to add some flavor to that and clarify a little bit of the atmosphere of the house. Yeah. Thora's room being attached to the stairway landing and not to this back area. Thora mostly doesn't come back here.
Okay.
Occasionally when she needs to talk to you, but she kind of allows you all this back half of the second floor as your space.
Okay. Cool. Have we got furnishings at this point? Like, is there?
Yeah. There's. I mean, there were furnishings here. I'm assuming there's probably been some rearrangement, but yeah, there's couches and stuff.
So Ari walks over to the table where he has a bottle of Lazar iced tea prepared and pours some into a cup. And he just, I'm assuming all of you would have come at Ari's request. I don't want to speak for your characters, but Ari looks at all of you and says, so yeah, and he downs his cup. There's something that now that we're getting into the business of spreading the word of us and this and
this isn't about your drinking.
Why would I talk about my drinking? It's just, I get thirsty. What do you do when you get thirsty? Anyway.
Puzzle Dust is lying on his back on the mantle with his head draped down, just watching.
Hey, buddy. So
hello.
You remember when we met Puzzle Dust, and he remarked that something about my capacity to be remembered being not great, and that wasn't an indictment.
He said everybody forgets you.
Yes, and that, believe it or not, is not an indictment on my personality. I don't know how to say this, and he fills his cup up again and so I'm just gonna say it. I'm cursed, and have been for a while now. So, people don't remember me, categorically.
And in the film, there's a sudden flashback of your minds of every time that someone has walked up and said, "You're Shade's friend," or "You're Esri's friend," or said something about what all three of you did and not listed Ari, and you kind of go,
I Pog had to remind everyone that you played music.
Yeah, and the Moon Spears didn't. Yeah, so yeah, people don't remember me or my actions, and if I don't keep contact with people, they will just. yeah, they won't remember me. Like if it's not like if I were to leave tomorrow, you'd wake up and not remember me, but it's kind of a, I mean, if something were to happen to me and I were to go away, if I were to die or something, it would be kind of the longer I'm gone, the more it's like, oh, I think Ari was there. Or when you tell a story, I would just be kind of a fact that slips through the cracks kind of thing. So when it comes to this stuff, I know that I, ironically, am a performer and am good with talking and stuff, but I can't be the one that does the memorable stuff because it will be all for naught. So, yeah.
Does it count
Yeah.
if you don't look like you?
Yeah, it's my. As Puzzle Dust put it when I talked to him about it, I bear his mark. So,
His being.
would I know the name, Philip? Okay, it's the Forgotten Prince is who cursed me. He's an archfey that I made angry when I was younger, and so basically I took credit for doing things that I hadn't done because I was a child, and that's sometimes something that kids do, and I did it to him, and he cursed me to where my actions and just basically when I die, there will hit a point where regardless of what I've done, it will never be remembered. So that's my deal. So yeah, if you all need to basically do the memorable stuff, I'll be there in support, but whatever I do won't go. It will go noticed in the moment, like people are like, hey, that guy's doing crazy stuff, but the next day they'll wake up and yeah. So
Isn't that kind of perfect for when we like face people that we don't want them to remember us? You know, like the Emerald Claws or the smugglers we're stealing from.
there are certain situations where yes, this would be beneficial. Having it be my whole life is kind of a bummer. So it's, I guess, double-edged sword. Because
Those are the best kind.
Yeah, I don't like swords with one edge.
yeah, it just
They tend to be stronger.
I appreciate what. Well, no, I don't even know if I can say I appreciate. I get what you all are doing, but yeah, I mean, so yeah, I mean, there have certainly been circumstances where I've made somebody angry, and yeah, they won't remember my face, and they'll be like, "Oh, there was somebody that did something, but I can't recall who they were, or what they looked like, or anything about them," and that's awesome. But you know, I still have family in Corvair that just, you know, they wouldn't know me from Adam. So don't ask who's Adam. It's an expression pog.
I don't know who Adam is.
It's really good. I was right there too. I was right there.
So yeah, that's my deal. Puzzle Dust, did I miss anything?
What? Were you talking?
Yeah, cool. Thanks.
Do you get it?
Yes, I got it. I got it. Man, Puzzle
It's like
Dust.
I've already
Yeah,
forgotten.
Yeah, yeah. It's been literally my whole life. I got it. Yep.
Hey, Puzzle Dust, do something else useful.
He's not Alexa. What?
Alexa must be Adam's wife. I don't know her.
Alexa by House Civis.
Puzzle Dust. Play some country music.
Can I change her name to Puzzle Dust? I'm asking Alexa as soon as we're done here. I swear to God. We're still going to be on this video call. I'm asking.
Puzzle Dust begins projecting random illusions on the bricks of the chimney.
Philip, would I know whether or not a fey curse is removable?
Yes, you probably do. You would know that usually there are specific conditions to breaking a fey curse, typically that are stated as part of the curse. But in general, it amounts usually to, easy thing that will be a perfectly good touch point for everyone. Beauty and the Beast. Beast wrongs an archfey, is cursed, and there's a condition that he must meet in order to break the curse and prove his character change to the archfey, and then be allowed to be traditionally beautiful again. And
He's so handsome.
Yeah. So yes, fey curses can be broken, either
Also,
through
his
some
name is Adam.
It's Prince Adam. Yep. I yeah.
through conditions, or by making it up to getting the archfey in question to remove it.
Yeah.
So, Ari, if you don't want to be forgettable, I mean, because there's advantages to that.
Yep.
You could just, make it up to the Forgotten Prince. Give credit where credit is due. Ask him what he wants.
Yeah.
You should.
Yes, that is correct. I have not had the opportunity to travel to the Feywild since it happened. I don't even know how to get there. He was on my turf. And also, according to Puzzle Dust, he might not even remember that he cursed me, and so would have no conditions to remove it because he doesn't remember doing it, so who gives a rip? So, but no, I agree. I would love to not be forgettable. It is a real bummer anytime you ask somebody for a second date and they don't remember the first one. So, yeah, and
Oof, that would be rough.
Well, there goes my KSA question.
Yeah, I mean, it sucks. I would love to do something about it, but we haven't really had the opportunity, and it only seemed relevant now that we're trying to remain known. It was kind of a boon for a while to not be remembered, but I didn't like it either way, but it was beneficial, I guess. So, yeah. Any other questions?
Thank you for telling us.
Sorry, I didn't do it. Just didn't know how to bring it up. All right, fills the cup up again.
Wait. Who are you?
Hilarious. Yeah, that's just, yeah. Curse I bore my literally, yeah, the hilarious joke.
But we remember you. I mean,
Because you see me every day.
Hog and
Like- Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, you guys, you're literally the only people that consistently remember me. Well, now Thora, because she sees me frequently. But, yeah,
Puzzle Dust.
well, yeah.
Puzzle Dust doesn't seem to remember anything.
Oh, Puzzle Dust remembers. He
There are squirrels chasing foxes across the chimney.
I mean, it's cool.
Isn't that backwards?
Would really want to watch that.
Backwards? Well, I mean, it can be.
Wait,
and they
hold
begin
on.
to move in reverse.
Shade, Ari, like backtracking the conversation, like giving him and Shade's background with like reading and stuff. And, like, how, what level of familiarity do you have with like the Fae stories and stuff?
Oh, a lot. When the tribe that found me wandering in the woods, they worshipped the Fae, and so I know a lot about it.
They- Would hearing about people that worship the Fae be an odd thing?
Not entirely. People
Okay.
revere the Fae.
Yeah, and maybe using the word worship that may have stronger connotations than what I meant as well. Sorry about that.
Oh, you're good.
They
Revered.
Yeah,
Interesting.
because it's not served, but they revered.
Okay, interesting. Well, yeah.
But I mean, not all Fae are nice.
Oh,
But the Forest Queen is always good.
never met the Forest Queen. It sounds like I should have met her instead of the one that I did meet.
Yeah, she gave me the mark.
What?
What?
Huh?
Well, I mean, I have talked very openly about feeling like my mark comes from the Forest Queen. That's why it protects us when I can't control it. It's still
But you like before you said you felt like it was a gift from the Forest Queen, and now you literally just said she.
Dragon
Have you-
marks don't come from.
Have you met
Other-
the Forest Queen?
What are you
No.
talking about?
I have not.
So you don't.
Okay.
You know how you believe something is true and say it is true?
Okay.
This is
Yeah. Okay. Okay. I'm with you now. Okay. Sorry. Yeah. Okay. All right. Pours another cup.
That's impressive because remember, it's just rum. That's 4 cups of straight
It's
rum.
right there on the label.
And he hasn't
It's
said-
right there on the label.
He hasn't said pours a
spent
shot. It's a cup.
He spent literal months with only Goliaths as his drinking buddies. He's built up a bit of a tolerance.
Cups over. Okay.
Hippopotami dance. Hippopotami tap dance across the chimney.
Just to be clear, you all are seeing that too now, right? What's that dance form that they're doing? I've never seen that. They have metal on their shoes? Wild.
Casey so badly wants to say no, but Shade would not do that.
I do too. But he just yelled at Ezri.
I'm going to bed.
Okay.
Okay.
Well. Good night.
Good
Try to leave
night.
some in the bottle.
Bye. Take this.
I wish y'all could see the kitten sitting in front of Casey, just staring at her and meeping.
Okay. So bedtime.
Gave up.
We have.
Puzzle Dust. The path that you brought, like, you know how to get to the Feywild. How long of a journey would you venture that in?
Don't you measure things in like days here or something?
Yeah, yeah,
That's very confusing to me.
I'm very sorry. What would you measure it in?
Well, you see, where I come from, it's just day or it's just night. It doesn't change. It changes where you go, and so I go from the gloaming into the day, and then it's day. Whereas here, it's constantly changing.
But you do have a measurement of time where you're from.
Hmm.
Like hours.
Yeah.
Distance, like, if you just give me the mileage, I could do the math on how long it'll take.
It's from hither to yon.
Thank you. Okay. I'm gonna go to bed.
Puzzle Dust is left alone in the room with illusory dancing hippopotami arcing across the room. And that's
Excellent
where...
band name. Excellent. Illusory dancing hippopotami.
IDH. And that's where we'll leave that episode. Next time we'll go on our first vigilante-ing spree. Thank you so much for...
You're welcome.
This was cool. I was like gonna cut this episode off, and then you guys started just like dropping bombs. I'm like, oh, I'm just gonna enjoy being an audience on this one. So
what's
that
funny
rocks.
is when we started, I was like, man, Philip's doing so much talking right now. This has got to be exhausting. Then at the end, I literally just saw you facial reacting like the story tells itself sometimes.
Collaboration.
Love it. Love it.
Me too. Thank you to all of our viewers as well. And if you would like to help support us and get word out about our show, you can hit any of the buttons down below. You can give us a comment down in the comments. Let us know what you think and what you think of the incredible little honesty bomb that Ari dropped on us all there, revealing his deep, dark secret. Mwahaha. Yes. You'll also find down in the description links to all of our social media, including our Discord. It's a great place to get in touch with the cast, and also you can submit questions there for our Friday KSAs, where we answer questions about the show. You can also submit those in comments. And lastly, you will find a link to Colin's Twitch, where he is sorry BTR, the O is a 0, and you can see him streaming on Tuesdays and other times less regularly. Anyway, I think that's everything. This has been Khyber Shards. Thanks for rolling with us.